Here's the final result. The tree is way cleaner and tidier. Sometimes to make a bonsai beautiful, you have to make it, let's say, quote, ugly first. And this ficus, it's kind of lost its way. It's overgrown and we cannot see the beautiful trunk. We need to see the features, the trunk that are inside of this bushy stuff. Today we're not just giving it a haircut, we're taking it all the way back just to bring it forward in the next growing season. We're about to embrace the ugly stage in order to make it more and more beautiful, a higher quality tree. So let's list some of the problems. The tree is not ugly. I've seen way worse, way worse. It's in a very nice spot. The biggest mistake that bonsai beginners do when it comes to styling a bonsai tree is they don't think far enough into the future. Every time you're doing something, you're pruning, you're styling, you're wiring a tree, when you're planting it, every time you need to think in the future. So you have to make it ugly first in order to become more and more beautiful. You're not just pruning it today to look good today, tomorrow, next week. You're always styling it to look better the next year and the next year and the next year. And that means you have to embrace this ugly stage, let's say. So that's the first mistake, being impatient, making the tree look good in that day. First of all, we need to find the front of this tree, and of course we got two options here. And obvious, I got a nasty scar here, which will heal over, that's no problem. But I don't like this front because the branches are going away from us. So naturally this will be the new front. The second mistake that I see on this tree is, yeah, it's in a very nice spot, but it's spotted, he's planted way far on the right. It's too much negative space here. Okay, so it can be a little bit on the right side or on the left side from the center. Never put it in the center, dead center. But take a look at this. Here's my center and here's the tree. You just need to put it like one inch, half an inch or something like that away from the center, and it will be better. Third mistake when it comes to styling a bonsai tree. You can see that it's flat, it's dead flat. It's like parallel to the pot. Okay, so you got these two branches that are like parallel to the pot, and that's pretty bad. You need to tilt the tree. A tree is three-dimensional, so you got 3 dimensions. Okay, don't think only on on 2 dimensions, because you got 3. So I will be needing to fix that, but not today, because I do not want to repot it today. It's freshly repotted this year, this spring, so I do not want to repot it. Okay, so let's start pruning a little bit. I was considering the defoliation part, like fully defoliate it, so I can see better what's going on, but I don't want to do that. The branches are not nearly mature enough for the defoliation, and I may be doing it later this year. So first of all, I'm gonna prune this branch away because it's hiding the trunks and it's growing like this in a pretty ugly direction. So that's gone. Also this is just pointing in our eyes like this. So we're gonna prune it back, way back, like that. and a little bit shorter here. Always do this, okay, with plain water, because the ficuses are generating a nasty sap, and the second you heat it with water after you prune it, that sap will crystallize immediately and it stops bleeding. Okay, let's continue with the pruning. On the top, heavy on the top. When you prune it heavy on the top, because that it's got that strength on the apex, and you need to calm that down. Trees always grow a lot more powerful towards the top. Always, they always do that. Okay, let's do this inside here, and little by little it's starting to show up the features. This is growing inside the tree. I'm gonna remove this entirely, and we're starting to see something. Yeah, okay, let's see what we can do more here. We're gonna prune this off. Okay, entangle branches that grow on top, inside one another, that grow like inside the tree, and it gets bushy and entangled, and they're gonna die anyway because they don't get enough sunlight, and they're gonna die. They're not going to live anymore. They're gonna die. Okay, let's turn the tree around a little bit. Let's prune it here, also on the top, heavy on the top, heavy on the top. Okay, here, prune this off, prune this off. I'm gonna do a little bit of directional pruning here, kind of like that. Okay, also I've got a little branch here. I do not want to utilize this in my final design. Quote final, because a bonsai tree is never finished. They're growing constantly. That's the beauty of this art. You never get to finish it. You just make it better and better and better. So you got a lot of work all the time, especially on ficuses. Ficuses are very, very aggressive, have a very aggressive growth. And let's see here. So I got this branch, big branch here. It's like pointing at my eyes. But if I repot the tree and tilt it a little bit like this, that problem will be solved. So I don't need to remove it right now. So what can I do next is remove these sucker leaves. The sucker leaves are the leaves that grow from the base of a branch. If you have the patience to remove those, your tree will look nicer. They just take up a lot of energy and they don't produce enough. So it's better to take them off. That's like what the name says. Sucker leaves. They suck away energy and don't provide too much in exchange. It's better to provide more energy where it is needed. Here we go. One branch removed. The main idea with bonsai trees, what are you doing? What are we doing with a bonsai tree? We always redistribute energy where it's needed the most, or where we want it, so that the tree will grow how we want the tree to grow, because trees don't care about looking beautiful for us. They just want to be efficient. And we're just playing with that concept. We're playing with that, always playing with that concept, with that fine line between being beautiful and being efficient. That's the pruning part. I know what you're thinking. It looks way worse. Yeah, it does. It does look way worse. but it needs to look like this, okay? Because now we got a clean vision, we got a clean tree. Okay, here I'm gonna prune this off also because I want it to be tighter, okay? A lot tighter. If you don't prune it back hard enough in the first stages, it's gonna get leggy. The internodes will get way far from one another, and you will not be able to get a compact tree. It's well defined right now. You can see the branches, okay? You can see clearly the branch structure. I will be putting wires on this tree, but not today, okay? We're just gonna let it grow. We can put wires whenever we want in the future. It's not a problem. The next thing that I want to do, it's get rid of all of this moss, because I don't understand what went down here, but this moss needs to go. When you're planting moss, but this is not planting, I think it's just for the shipping, to maintain a higher level of moisture. But remember this, because this is another mistake that bonsai beginners do. Never put so much stuff, so much moss on the trunk, okay? Yeah, ficuses can manage that, but it's better to not do that. Also, you're not gonna see the flare. Not gonna see the flare of the trunk, at the base of the trunk. You need to see that flare, that Nebari. So we're gonna clean this up really quickly here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is just take a brush and just clean it up a little bit like this. You can see the wires here that tie the bonsai tree to the pot. You always want to tie your bonsai trees to your pot. Always, always, always. I cannot stress this enough. I don't care what somebody else says. You always have to do it. It's really, really mandatory, because stuff can happen, especially when you grow them indoors. So if you live in an apartment building, or even a house, when some bigger trucks or something, bigger cars pass on the street, your house will shake. You cannot feel that, but it does. And the tree will feel that he's unstable in the pot, and it will tend to grow big roots, big thick roots, in order for him to ensure that it's fixed. And you do not want the bigger roots. The bigger roots are not good, are not feeder roots. They're not good. You do not want that. Okay, just gonna clean this up a little bit here. We got enough soil to go around. That's absolutely no problem. Just want to get rid of all this mess. And what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna take a little teaspoon and do this. Okay, so when I water the tree, the water will go inside the pot, not on the outside. It won't drain on the outside of the pot, it will go in. This is a neat little trick that you have to remember. So what I've got here next is water with a little bit of plain vinegar. So we're gonna further clean up the trunk. Just be careful, because you have to give it a very, very thorough shower after this, because you don't want too much of this vinegar going inside the root mass, inside the pot. Here's the final result. The tree is way cleaner and tidier than it used to be. Just gonna let it grow until we repot it in the next year, I'm gonna place this tree now straight into my indoor greenhouse, but we're gonna see and talk about that in the next episode.